What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Ralph's Garage. Working on the E36 again. I have exciting news. I got the drive shaft. So I have everything pretty much to make this car go. I just redid the rear brake line because that was leaking. I just did that off camera, but it's this line here. I ran a whole new one under the car. Let's take a look. This connection point here where I spliced into the factory line, I had done it way up there and I should have done it further back here because it wasn't serviceable where it was at. So I made a whole new line, cut the stock line back to here. So this is like my conversion area. I got my Corvette fuel filter and my brake line conversion connection here. I would have done a whole new line because it really wouldn't have been that bad just to go right here, but I only had this much hard brake line and I didn't want to buy more just for this one line, so that's where I'm at now. Eventually I'll probably add a handbrake, and this is where I'm going to connect in at, is right here. So I'm going to have a brake in this line anyway, so for now that's going to work. I started tucking the fuel line up. I lost a couple of these metal plates here, so I'm going to put one more of those there, and then a metal cover right here that's going to hold the line up, and then I got one there. But anyway, that's what I was doing off camera. Here's the drive shaft. So this is TR6060 down at that end, solid steel drive shaft, and then I have a slip joint here, and then this will go to the BMW rear on this end. And then speaking of rears, I had a small case diff in this car because it's a 318, and it was a 444 final drive. It was like ridiculously short. I needed something with a better gear ratio, so I found on Facebook Market for $100 273 medium case diff. And I know that that's not ideal. That's a little too long. So as you know, I bought that a while ago and it's just kind of been sitting over there. I put upgraded bushings in the diff cover, and then I figured out, oh well, now I need to change the axles because the small diff axles don't fit on the medium case diff. So I got axles, got those installed. That led to doing the brakes, so I got all new brakes all around, new parking brake in the back as well. I had to replace one of my parking brake cables because that was jacked up. Did all that off camera. Circle back around to the diff. I saw an eBay auction for, it was a 373 LSD. So I thought it was a pretty good deal. I got it. I think it was like $500. I got it. The diff showed up. I spin the drive shaft, and it didn't seem to be an LSD. So I took the cover off, looked at it. Sure enough, it's an open diff. So it's probably like a 393 out of an auto, medium case still. So now I have two open diffs here. I contacted the guy from eBay. He's actually making it right. He said he's sending me 323 LSD from an M3. So that's not here yet, but you know, that'll probably come around and that'll be good. He would have made right on what he did. For now, I want to get the drivetrain in, and I want to make sure that the drive shaft fits. So I'm going to mount up the 293 medium case diff, the one that's right here. Oh, if you ever change the diff covers, these buckets work great to hold the diffs upright. So I'm going to go ahead and get that diff installed. The small case diff is already out. Sorry guys, I did that off camera. But we got the medium case axles installed. No diff installed. I got new parking brake installed. The new cable I think was on the other side, but I got new pads, new rotors all around, four corners. New wheel speed sensor on the one side because that was totally jacked up. So yeah, now I'm just gonna go ahead and install this medium case diff. Sorry guys, my bad. It's tight under here, you know. Alright guys, so the bolts that hold the drive shaft flange on the trans are too long and they're hitting the shifter assembly, so I'm just gonna take the end of the bolt off and yeah, and we'll try it again. Helps if you plug the grinder in. One down, two to go. Oh man, I might have just effed another GoPro lens. It doesn't look too bad. Looks terrible here. That doesn't look bad. Okay, well I'm gonna put you guys over here now. Alright, bolts are all short. Y'all aren't gonna be able to see what I'm doing, but trust me, I'm doing it. Putting the bolts in the drive shaft. I don't know how long you guys have been standing there, but I don't know how long you guys were looking at the ceiling there, or if I just knocked you over, but drive shaft's installed. I'm just gonna put the nuts on the back side, on the diff side. Alright, so I'm just working on these nuts here. Get a couple of these extra bolts in. All right, I gotta go. I'll finish this on another day.
3 weeks later.
All right, guys, not sure how this is gonna go. I got the rear axles are held in with 4 bolts each. First, I think it's like 6 that they usually take, so I'm missing a couple bolts, but I'll get them in. But I want to just try and back it out of the garage and basically confirm that the clutch is working and all that. So I lowered it down, I put the wheels on it, and man, you really kind of forget how small this thing is. It's pretty low, but because it's been on jack stands forever. So I'm gonna try and back it out. I have to disconnect battery charger. Let me do that, and I'll see if I can back this thing out. All right, guys, I just want to jump in here. I'm in the editing room, and I'm realizing this is the first time this car, it's the first time it's going to move under its own power. And yeah, it's kind of a rough time just getting it out of the garage here. It's running really rich, and I didn't know why at the time. Reverse grinds, pretty bad. Not too bad. So I'm just gonna work on getting it out of the garage here, and I'm actually sitting on like a car ramp that's inside the car.
This driver's seat situation, not ideal.
Yeah, so I need a seat.
Sitting on this.
Yeah, so I come back, and I'll just sit on the floor. I don't feel like putting the seat in. Real struggle. First time getting it out of the garage. You don't always get to jump in it and drive it around the block. Let's quit messing around and put a seat in. don't have to shut this car off. It shuts itself off. It made it for its first drive. Woohoo! That is the first time that this car has ever driven anywhere under its own power for, I gotta say, 7 years. It hasn't moved under its own power, so that's pretty exciting. Oh man. Oh. Yeah. And there's not like a stream of oil behind it. So I do need to figure out why it won't idle itself. Because it was idling fine and now not so much. So yeah. Anyway, just wanted to bring you guys along because I had like a moment just to real quick see if I could drive around the block. And I know the brakes aren't bled, so it didn't stop. It doesn't idle, but it does drive. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Next time we're going for